Alright, so this is T-Mike, and today we're making a video of how to rebuild an ignition Magneto for 9.5 horsepower 1968 Johnson. This comes off of an MQ-14D, and Magneto actually has spark, but customers paying for a complete restore. So we're going to tear it completely apart, put all new components. So here we go with the tear apart. First thing I'm going to do is loosen the screws to get the spark plug wires out. I'm going to leave the hardware attached, not remove it. That way I know how the wires will route back. And I'm gonna put the parts that I'm keeping in one stack here, and then the parts that I'm gonna throw away in another stack. I'm going to kind of fast forward through the tear apart and spend more time on the reassemble to give you the close-ups on it. Got the first coil off. Now we'll go for the condenser. Take the condenser off, and then we'll take the set of points off. So there's a retainer clip right there on the post of the points that's got to come off. And then there's a retainer clip that's got to come off. I'm going to save it to use it later. And the points just come right off. Okay, that's one half removed. Now we're going to remove the other half. Okay, so notice I pulled the cam wiper off. We're going to replace that. So I've got her completely cleaned off. Only thing I did not remove were the kill switch wires. They have proprietary plugs on this end. I'm going to keep that on it, but I'm going to replace all the components. I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to soft brush clean it with some degreaser, get it all spick and span, and then we'll reassemble it. Alright, so I got her cleaned up, nice and shiny. In the restoration business, cleanliness is everything. And the way I cleaned it and got all the grease off is I sprayed it down with WD-40 and hit it with a soft wire brush, and then blew it off with a compressor, and then sprayed it down with green, simple green cleaner, hit it with the soft wire brush again, and airbrushed and sprayed it with my air hose, and then wiped it down with a towel, so it's immaculate. Okay, so the coils we're going to be using to replace with, I like the CDIs. This is part number 183477. I like these coils. They make several different coils, but these are better than the cheaper ones you buy. And the tune-up kit, I like Sierra also, the 18-5006. It's got 2 sets of points in it, 2 sets of condensers. It's got the wiper in it. It's got a sandpaper to clean the points. All right, so we're gonna add the points in first and the condensers, and then add the coils and the wiring later. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to take the base plate for the points. I'm going to slip it over the post. The points are the same on either side. I'm going to slip it over the post. Right, and then I'm going to place the holding nut that I saved from the base. Place the holding nut in there. I'm not going to tighten it too tight because we're going to need to adjust the points. There's the holding nut, holding it in. The oblong screw is what turns it, adjust the points in and out. Now I'm going to take the other half of the point that's got a spring on it, and I'm going to slip it over the post, pull the spring back as I slip it over the post, push it behind the holding plate, and slip it on. Okay, so now I've got both sets of contacts in place. Now I'm going to put the little spring that goes on top of the retainer, and then I'm going to put the retainer slide on here. I'll show you that. They're in this package. So here's the clip. Here's the clip. It goes on top of the points. All right. I got it on. Now this other clip is going to go over. There's an indention on this side, a dimple that fits on that dimple there, and you just slide it in till the dimples match up. All right, that's the set of points on there. On the other side, we got the oiled wiper to wipe the cam. And to do that, you slip it in the wiper retainer. All right, and then slip it over the post and shove it down on. Okay, so there's the wiper for the cam. All right, now we're going to put the other set of points on just like we did this side. Okay, now we have both sets of points on. We're going to put the coils in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to roll out my wire. I like to have 30 inches of wire times 2 for the length. All right, so here's my wire, and I like to use 7mm copper core. 7mm copper core spark plug wire. So I'm gonna go to 30 inches and then fold it back. So I got 60 inches of spark wire here. I'm gonna go up and through here and take a coil, and these are screw-in terminals. They have the ones that are just straight and some that are screw-in, so I'm gonna screw this into the spark plug. I'm gonna show you a little T-mic trick. Take you some carburetor cleaner and spray it into the tip here. It makes the spark wire twist easier. I go about 3 turns. I'm gonna put my screw in. I'm not gonna tighten it yet. Take the other end of my spark plug wire. I'm gonna bring it in through the other side. And now I'm gonna do the same thing for the other plug. We'll make sure that your wires, the coil wires, are not exposed for the drive shaft to hit at the cam, so wrap them around. Okay, now I've got my coils mounted, but they're loose. I'm gonna get my coil retainer ring. This is a coil locator ring. Part number is 317001. I highly recommend getting this tool. What you do is you wrap it around the coils, right, and it perfectly lines up the coil with the armature. So I have it there. I push outwards, and I tighten down the coil. I'm going to remove my locator ring, and there it is. All right, now we're going to route our wires around the back side of the Magneto. Okay, so we got it all together. Last check is to be check continuity with our voltmeter, see if we see the coils. So here's the top coil facing me, and I look at the other end of the wire and I see 8,000 ohms, which is the coil. So that wiring is good. I look at the bottom coil, and I see 8,000 ohms. Anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 is good. So the wiring is good. Okay, now that I've checked all that, I added the condenser and added the Phillips screw that holds it to the ring around the cam. I'm not going to lay any of the leads down because I got to set the timing when I put it on the Magneto. And that's how you disassemble and rebuild an Magneto ignition for a 1968 9.5 Johnson MQ14D. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here at T-Mike's, we're doing it one motor at a time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here at T-Mike's Vintage Outboards, we're doing it one motor at a time. Please click on subscribe. I guarantee to provide weekly videos. Au revoir, mes amis, and laissez les bon temps rouler.